Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Yeti
Walks Into Basecamp.
I am Yeti Legs.
And I am...
Basecamp!
Yep.
Such an iconic intro at this point.
We have two exceptionally special guests with us today.
Very special.
Sitting 4 feet across from us on the other side of this table, we have Cuppa
Hello there.
and Jedi.
He stole my entrance. That's like a
What are you
Jedi
gonna
entrance.
say
That's a
hello there?
Jedi.
The hello there.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
So weird.
Well, hello, guys. It's really great to have you. We're very, very excited about this.
Amazing to be here.
We love having you. Cuppa and Jedi are currently hiking the CDT, and we just happen to be really close to trail, so we
2
decided,
miles away.
yeah, don't let that message get out to everyone. Yeah, and we are just happy to host them, and we're actually recording this podcast just before they jump back on trail.
Yeah, we're procrastinating. We're doing everything we can, finding
Yeah.
any excuse to not get back on.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, let's do the podcast on Saturday right before we leave. And then we'll go do our resupply. And then let's go to the post office. And we'll get on trail after that.
Pretty
Smart
much,
thing.
pretty much.
We slept in the podcast room though, so it's forced us to clean up before we settle.
True.
I mean, even if we just do a mile on trail, it's still we going on
We're happy
trail,
today.
so-
Yeah, we'll be back on. That's good enough.
Yeah.
I need you to keep your faces closer to the
You
mic.
better
there.
glue your mouth.
Okay,
There
I have
you
to cuddle
go.
with
Well, his
Cuddle-
breath- his
cuddle
breath
each
stinks.
other.
His breath's really bad.
No.
That's awful.
Cuppa brushed his teeth before this.
Yeah, that's kind enough to.
No, it's great. They're literally cuddling at this moment. Okay, so
Also-
just to explain really fast, we have 2 mics, and so we have 4 people. So 2 people are sharing. 2 people are sharing.
Jedi's so fat as well. He's like sat in the middle of the couch, and I'm falling in the hole to the center as well.
Yeah, can you see the giant dimple in the couch already? Yeah.
I'm literally forced to lean right into his armpit.
How does that armpit smell?
Terrible.
A
It
bit
smells
like-
better than trail though.
A bit like a Big Mac, yeah?
Yeah.
3 showers
Like a
later.
marijuana Big Mac.
3 showers later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, by the time you listen to this episode, we'll have already released our PCT Week 8, which covers us getting into Kennedy Meadows South on the PCT. And we felt like this was a great spot to dump this episode because this is some of the best quality time that we've had with Cuppa and Jedi. Was
Woo!
our 000 in Kennedy Meadows. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A lot of alcohol.
A lot of alcohol, a lot of karaoke.
We went bowling yesterday.
We
went
did.
bowling.
Well, we went bowling last night.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good fun.
Yeah, they're not taking 3 zeros this time around. Just 1.
Oh, what did you mean the first?
We were
time?
saying Kennedy Meadows South.
I think we did 4 or 5 then.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
We did
Oh my
like
god, we
4
were
days.
drinking every single day. It
I
was so
just
bad.
remember Kennedy Meadows South. They had like pancakes, like those big ass pancakes, and then they had eggs. And you guys, oh
Sorry.
my god!
We'll be sensible.
did you just give him a peck on the cheek?
Unconsensual.
Consensual. Do you want to talk about Kennedy Meadows South real fast?
Yeah, let's talk about Kennedy Meadows South real fast and kind of the origins of our friendship / tramily-ship with Cuppa and Jedi.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. What did you guys think of KMS?
that was a good spot. That was like, they call them vortexes, don't they? When you get sucked into a certain place on trail. Jedi's pulling my head to the mic again, sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So we basically hit the end of the desert, and we knew there was so much snow that we were going to hit in the Sierras. And everybody in that town was telling us, oh no, you can't go into the snow. You're going to die if you go now into the snow. So, I mean, we needed any excuse we wanted for as many days off as possible too, because it's a massive celebration. You get to the end of, what mile is it? Mile 600?
700, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
around 7.
So we're all celebrating the fact that we got through the desert. I think I was bright red, lobster pink from sunburn. So finally we were going to go into the snowy area and up into the high mountains. And we just needed a break, I feel like. So it was a good excuse. Everybody kind of like bulges into one place. What am I doing? Mic to the face.
Yeah, you keep turning to look at
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. This is a learning experience.
So we've pulled into Kennedy Meadows South, and then everyone kind of bunches up together. So it's an excuse where everyone that you've met over hundreds and hundreds of miles, there's a bar there. We're all really excited for the Sierras. Everyone's a little bit nervous, and I think it was quite cheap. It wasn't too expensive as well.
No, it was pretty great.
So it just turns into one massive party haven, doesn't it? For days and days and days.
It's true.
It was a
true.
vortex for sure.
And do you remember the really weird social dynamics between like Yogi's shop?
Oh,
Triple
that town
Crown?
drama.
Yeah.
My goodness, the drama on that town. So of all the towns on the trail, what are you laughing at?
He loves it. He loves to talk about the drama.
I absolutely love
on
the
trail.
drama on the trail.
Cuppa and I do. We love. I think I
Especially
do too.
When it's drama that doesn't affect us, like personally.
Oh
do you
yeah,
know
we
what I
all
mean?
talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just town drama. So I think we pulled up to that town, and then when we got there, there was already a screaming match going on between all of the staff that were. There was like a massive family, and they all sat around the bar drinking all day long.
Are you
And
talking about Grumpy's?
Grumpy Bear's Retreat? Yeah. And when we turned up, there was one lady that worked there, and she was screaming. She was going, "I've just driven all the way to the trailhead, and there's no hikers there." And it turns out that it was what was the other shop called?
The general store.
The general store where they all clap their way in.
Yes.
They were prank calling Grumpy Bear's Retreat, and apparently they are blood related of some way, like the cousins or something like that. And then, but they fight for competition for who, obviously for revenue and business. And he was prank calling them, saying that, "Oh yeah, we're hikers at the trailhead. We're a little bit lost though. Can you come and pick us up? We know where we are." So she drove all the way there, and it was just him playing a prank on them.
Oh yeah, we were actually at the general store whenever she drove over there one time on one of those prank calls, and she was
Lost it.
she was rolling
God.
coal and
Yeah.
creating dust storms.
But
like,
they were
driving out.
but it was multiple times. I get why she was so angry, but it was multiple times. But she was so hot-headed. Like
She was, yeah.
It was like level 100 straight away. As soon as she opened the door, it was flying open, and she was screaming, and we were all there like, "Oh
Whoa.
my God, what have we got ourselves into here?"
Yeah, the day that we got into Kennedy Meadows South, we had been Garmin messaging the guy at Grumpy's, and we're like, "Hey, we're like X number of miles out. We really want to come and stay there. We would love like a hot dinner.
Yeah.
We know you close at this time." He's like, "Oh yeah, we'll hook you up. We'll make you dinner."
Mm-hmm.
And we kept like updating him with our mileage. And when we finally got to the road for pickup, he
Yeah.
wasn't there, and he came.
Oh.
He showed up like 10 minutes later. He's like, "I thought you guys were fucking with me."
Oh no.
Yeah, and when we got back to when he drove us to Grumpy's, they had turned the power off because they had gotten
They kicked everyone out, remember?
Yeah, they had gotten
God.
pissed at all the hikers and
Oh
kicked
my
y'all
God.
out.
It was
Do you
so
remember?
extreme all the time. I think, and there was another side of drama going on in that town as well, which was
With
Yogi's
Yogi.
place.
Because then you all went over there the night before or something and hung out at like a campfire. They invited you guys to hang out.
That was it. Yeah.
and then Grumpy got pissed, so he kicked
Yeah.
everybody out. Well, that was the night he picked us up. And he told us, so there was a few people still in the restaurant actually
Yeah.
after he kicked everyone out.
Yeah.
There were a couple people that were still drinking, but they didn't have the lights on.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Okay, because I told you I'd make you burgers, I will.
Mhm.
And I'll get you some beer, but don't tell anyone I did this."
Oh.
And you know what was also creepy about that moment is we heard a voice like ring out from the darkness, and you know who it was?
Go on.
It was Guino. Do you remember that guy
Greeno.
from Mike's place?
The penguin dude.
Penguin. Oh my.
Yeah.
The creepy guy?
Yeah, he was. Well, we bumped into him at Mike's place.
Yeah, Mike's place. That's what I was gonna say. So we all
Hundreds of
bumped
miles
into him at
before.
Mike's place.
Yeah.
Because he actually he literally drove up to us.
Yeah.
Because we were the
Yeah.
last ones to leave Mike's place that
Mhm.
day. And he drove up to us and goes, "Hey, do you want anything? Everclear? Beer?" And we're like, what
I'm
the
like, who the drives around with Everclear in their trunk?
That's a bit.
Like-
is that like 100 proof stuff or something?
Oh
crazy?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
200 proof.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But we're like, "Yeah, we'll take a beer." But we were like hiking out because the sun was setting. So we're like, "Yeah, we'll take a beer." But I
Mhm.
think he took it as he wanted to hang out with us. So he gets out of his car, hands us beers, and cracks open a beer
Yeah.
and starts talking to us. And we're like,
I think he'd hiked
What
the
the-
trail in previous years, and
Yeah.
then he'd dropped down. He was just going to do the season at Grumpy Bear's Retreat.
"Yeah."
So, but when we met him there, he was so inappropriate around that fire.
He was also working there, I think, as a bartender.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He
yeah.
got kicked off. There was so much drama. Didn't he get
Yeah,
kicked out
yeah.
or something?
not
I think
surprised.
he had to leave, yeah.
Yeah, and he had a continually growing tab at Grumpy's.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking his profits away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we met Tusi.
Oh,
I was
Tuesday
just
was
about
working
to
there.
say.
Yeah.
He was a hero. What a guy.
We love Tuesday.
He like filled up the bathtub at Grumpy's with me, and we laid out my thermarest, which I'd like destroyed at this point through all the needles in the desert. It had like 20 holes in it or something, and we patched every single. What a guy! He sat there and patched every single one with me, putting his ears to the bubbles, like leaking out of it, and just went through the whole lot. And it must have taken like an hour and a half or something.
Sweet Tuesday.
But we got there.
But didn't you have a second mat that you'd pulled from a hiker box and you were going to try and sell it or something?
That hiker box is incredible.
Oh, that
Well,
hiker box was
Was
the
it
best.
there? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, there was a good one there. Well, I wasn't going to sell it. I've got a twin brother back in the UK, and I'm always like trying to fight for him to get some sort of kind of decent gear, let's come and join me and let's do something. So I was thinking, if I can get a little blow up pad for him. I mean, he's about 6'5" or something ridiculous. And
Your
that was
your
no, he's
twin
not.
brother?
He's not that tall. Maybe 6'2", I think.
Your
Yeah.
twin brothers?
Yeah. He's a lot taller than me. Yeah, and the runt of the litter.
Whoa.
Yeah,
The runt of the
Kicked
litter.
out the nest.
Well, actually, before we get into like asking them questions, we should do the drink of the choice.
Yes, we should.
It's going to be a bit different this time, isn't it? 'Cause it's morning. So
It's
Yeah.
morning, yeah.
And
Yep.
we were all drinking last night, so it's not going to be beers or like dark stouts this time or anything.
No.
No. So for the drink of the choice right now, I'm drinking Covfefe, aka coffee.
Same.
2 coffees.
So boring.
Gentlemen, what are you drinking?
So I'm drinking tea, ginger lemon.
That's not tea in my eyes.
It's not even caffeinated, right, Jedi?
Is it
It's
Wait.
herbal, yeah. Did you say herbal? Like with a hard H?
Herbal.
Herbal?
herbal?
Herbal.
Oh, without an H.
You're in America.
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 That's so funny in the mic. And I'm drinking. I've got these new chai lattes on trail, which are a bit fancy, and they're expensive. So I've tried one now, and it's good. It's nice. And then I've got my normal Yorkshire tea as well.
Is the new
Which-
chai better than the old one you had? Like in your fancy
That
pot?
pot with like 100 different things of it. Okay, yeah, it's a lot better. We bought this like from like a really organic store. This like pot of 100 chai flavors. You can cut this out if it's too boring, but
No,
it's like 100 chai flavors. You add it in, but it's got no sugar in it, no milk powder or anything. It's just straight like like ginger,
Chai.
cumin, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's just so strong, but it's good with a coffee for like a dirty chai or something. It's been nice.
You like it dirty, don't you?
I like it
Cuppa?
real dirty. When Jedi's around, anyway.
Well, I was actually going to say quickly, going back to Meadows South really fast. One of my favorite memories was that your mom shipped you an entire box of
What a
your
hero.
Yorkshire tea.
I was struggling.
No, did she not order it on Amazon?
Or she ordered it to you.
I think so, yeah.
Because that was also the time I ordered the ukulele.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
yeah,
Jedi, did an
Yeah.
entire like revamp of his gear at
Uh-huh.
Meadows South. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
had a
and I bought in the
ukulele.
backpack and everything. Yeah.
We carry some absolute garbage, don't we?
It's really hard to hear you, Jedi.
You got to get close, Jedi.
Jedi's not got earphones, so it's a bit harder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
I
don't
can't
know.
really-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if
better.
you put your mouth like right there when you talk, that's what's going to help.
Okay.
Yeah. We just added an hour of editing for Wesley. Not...
So we've got our drink of the choice down and out for the count. I think this is a great time to kind of transition to the episode and our questions. But to give a brief, really quick rundown of how we met Cuppa and Jedi, why we always refer to them as basically a couple, and kind of the history of our tramily relationship.
Oh.
Do you want to start?
I mean, I feel like I've told this story many times on the podcast.
You have.
It's
You
like,
have.
yeah,
I heard it like 2 times on the podcast.
yeah, because it's one of my favorite
But it's so great.
stories.
We're
We'll
gonna say it a
listen to
third time.
For those of you who haven't listened to the other episodes where I've talked about this, but it's one of my favorite like intros to meeting people. And
This
we
is where was it?
we were in the San Jacintos,
thought so.
and
yeah.
we were like slowly, creepily going across this snow field that was inside the trees, and you guys were like barreling down it,
Yeah.
and it was you, Build-A-Bear, Jedi, so Jedi, Cuppa, Build-A-Bear, and then Johan,
Johan.
and then Boomy.
Boomy wasn't there.
Boomy wasn't there.
keep
I
correcting
swear,
this.
I think he
Boomy
was.
wasn't there. No,
Will.
no.
It
Will.
was Will.
Okay.
Will.
Yeah.
Which I
It was
never
Will.
saw them again. It was
Yeah.
just like you
Yeah.
build, like us Build-A-Bear.
Because Johan and Will were like
They, like, took
zooming
off.
Flew ahead.
Yeah.
So
Can we get your best Johan real quick?
Johan.
Johan! Johan!
His own name became like his trail name.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Just a silly voice, yeah.
Yes. So then I just remember, I'm like, who the heck is literally behind us? Just like, it sounds like a bunch of monkeys, like laughing and talking, and they're just like a herd.
Oh, it's funny.
And I turn around and we all stop and turn around and they're barreling past us. And Jedi, and we don't know these people yet, and Jedi is like falling through post holing, like through 3 to 4 feet of snow.
You were so heavy then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were a big
and-
dude then.
And all I remember is Cuppa, like they're passing us, and Cuppa turns around and looks at us and goes, "Mate, it's so funny. He just keeps falling through the snow because he's so big."
I
And
mean,
then they
he
keep
was.
going.
With his 40-pound pack. He looks like a big-ass gorilla in the woods.
I
It
don't
was
think that's-
probably 50, over 50, I think. Yeah.
that massive 4
Because
bag.
I had in Alderwall, I had like a competition with Top Chef about like the base weight.
Is Top Chef the guy who carried a spice rack?
Yes.
With him?
He was like, holy shit.
He
his
had
pack
2
was
food bags
huge.
called the twins,
Yeah, the twins. Yeah, his food
and he was
bags,
carrying
The
ingredients.
twins.
Like he wouldn't carry meals; he'd carry the ingredients to make those meals.
Yeah.
He'd stop and cook for like an hour or something every time he got to camp.
Oh.
Yeah,
Bless that man.
Yeah.
But it was just so great because I will never forget that moment.
Oh, so
And then
good.
like we ran into you guys again that night and you asked us if we wanted to camp with you. And then you started smoking weed because you met that
not me,
trail angel.
not me. Best behavior.
Me,
met-
it's me.
But you met that trail angel who came up with the weed.
Nitzy, yeah.
She like hiked in and met you guys.
Yeah. So
It
we
was
bumped
so
into
funny.
her, and I think she was like an oh, this is very mean to say, but she's of the older crowd. That's something.
She
that's
was just
a
an
nice way
older
to say it.
woman.
Yeah, and she had like a hiking group full of older women. They were all really bitchy, and she just wanted to have a good time. I think she didn't want to be involved in all the drama and all this. And she found us, and she had this like massive ice axe, didn't she? Super heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Massive ice
remember.
axe. And yeah, she just wanted like some people to hang out with, some like cool through hikers. She thought so. Oh, she was wicked. She was great fun to be around. So who were you with at that time?
We were with Optimist.
So it was you two and Optimist. Cool. Yeah, I remember that. I think I remember that.
I think that was the first time we met you, and then after that, we saw you again in the desert. Outside of the snow, you were trying to chop down a dead tree with an ice axe,
I remember that.
which was great.
Well, I feel like we were leapfrogging through that section pretty
Yeah.
good, like until Hot Springs. Like we were constantly seeing each other. And what's funny
Yeah.
is because we were going slow because of me. And then Cuppa and Jedi were really, really fast, but we would always seem to run back into them. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? And it's because they were just dicking around, literally doing
Dumb
the
shit.
funniest stuff, or they'd go off trail and do something. And then we'd find them again and be like, whoa, how did we pass you guys or catch up with you? And then there was this one time where we saw this tree swaying. Like we didn't see anyone at first. We just see this tree swaying.
We're like, is it about to fall? What's happening
Yeah,
here?
there's no wind. What's going on? And then as we get closer, we start to see Jedi trying with all of his might to push
Like a
this
gorilla.
tree down. And he's like, I can't get it. And then Cuppa's like, maybe if I get my ice axe out. And like, this is all happening as we're stumbling upon them.
Brand new ice axe.
And he looks at us. He's like, do you think I could chop it down with my ice axe?
So we started. We loved pushing trees over, didn't we? The massive trees.
Yeah.
They
I
needed to go
love
down
to
anyway.
push trees over.
And then fast forward to Kennedy Meadows South, and that's where we really spent the most time with these two guys. I think since we know them so well, we should let everyone listening understand a little bit more about them as well, which is such a great, I'm so proud of that segue into the first question that we have here. So the first question is broken down into 4 parts. So we'll just do each part. Y'all just kind of take turns, and whoever wants to answer first can go ahead. We usually refer to both of you as a unit, but you've both got your own story. We met you in the San Jacintos, tumbling through the snow, and we've been friends with you ever since. The first question is, would you mind describing where you're from?
You can do that.
So, hello. I'm from Germany, really close to Stuttgart. So it's the southwest. And yeah, that's it. I really never hiked in Germany. I more hiked like as a kid with my parents in Austria because my dad is coming from there. And yeah, it was like fun. And then at one point I saw a picture of McAfee Knob.
Was it on Instagram?
What?
Was it on Instagram? You saw that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a picture of McAfee Knob on Instagram.
Which is part of the AT.
Yeah,
for
it's
those
part
who
of the
don't
AT,
know.
and I don't know, something in my head was like switching, like this picture is great, but it would be great to be on this picture, like on McAfee Knob. And that's how I realized, like, okay, so McAfee Knob is like, in America, it's on a trail, it's on the Appalachian Trail.
Wait, so you had never done any long trails before the AT?
No, I never really hiked. Like, I was a day hiker before. I never did like a weekend hike or something. Just like, that was my first long distance hike. Yeah.
Wait, so did you like figure out how to buy all the gear? What did you?
Oh my God. This is where it starts. Yeah. So I was buying a good tent, like the MSR Haber NX 1-person tent. I love this tent. It's great. Rest in peace. Yeah, I just lost it on this trail because everything is broken. It has holes. But yeah, I bought a 4-class 70-liter or 80-liter backpack from Decathlon. Some hiking boots from Decathlon, like the cheapest stuff you can get.
And you got hiking boots?
Hiking boots,
heavy,
yeah.
heavy.
It was heavy. I had no idea about stove and cooking on trail. So I thought I have to survive 6 months with dry fruits and beef jerky. That was like, yeah, the first 30 miles on the AT is from Springer Mountain to Neal's Gap. And I only had beef jerky and dried peaches and mangoes.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious, yeah.
Wait, when did it finally click that you could have more food?
In Neal's Gap, they like showed me everything.
They're like, hey,
Yeah.
Jedi, there's this whole world open
Yeah, there's
to
like
you.
the whole stuff. I also bought trekking poles there. Yeah, I had no trekking poles for the first 30 miles.
Wow.
So yeah, the guy told me like, here's a stove, like the cooking food you can have. And I think that's, yeah, I'm like a guy, I really love to jump into the cold water and learn everything on trail. And
You
I'm
learn
really
fast.
happy about that, yeah.
You do learn.
Like I
fast,
learned
though.
everything from like ramen bombs to what Hikertrash means and all this stuff and hitchhiking. I learned everything on trail.
Yeah.
And the special on this trail was 2020 when COVID started.
Oh man.
So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm sure that made everything 10 times more difficult. I remember hiking by some guy who was on the AT and he's like, yeah, I have to get off because I just can't get enough resupply out here.
Damn.
Was it hard, Jedi, to get
No,
resupply?
No, it was really.
Was it better
I
than
mean, when we go
hiking?
into town, put a bandana on or your
Yeah.
mask and then go into the
Okay.
store and act like a normal person, buy food and
Like
then
no one
just
ever-
leave.
yeah. Was it actually easier to hike in 2020 than it has been?
It was so empty. I think 400 people finished
So
the
it's
trail.
better.
Yeah, I started with the number 986 and finished with 125 as a number. 125. So, and there were like sections I saw no person for like 2 weeks. I was on my own. I loved it, actually.
Well, I feel like what thru hiker doesn't love being alone. Well, I guess there are some that don't like it, but I feel like most people decide to thru hike so they can get away from everybody.
Yeah.
I was going to ask really fast. So the AT was your first one, and then was
The
the
AT
PCT your second one, or did you do anything before that?
No, the PCT was my second one. I tried to hike in Germany after that, 2021, but it's not good. I really don't enjoy it. It was like a tiny trail from my hometown to Heidelberg. Was okay, but I think German trails or the trail I hiked was like too close to society. Like
How many miles was that?
160, 180 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a smaller
It was a really
trail,
small.
but it was
Yeah.
like
And I think I did it in 5 days. So I
Yeah.
did like
you just really
40 to 50
plowed.
miles per day. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about FKT?
No.
I think you could.
I think you
really
could.
think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could, but do you think it would kill the experience for you?
It would kill the experience. I really love. I'm like you guys. You said you're not really hikers. You're more like campers, and
We
that's
are.
me too. Yeah, I really love to be outside. I don't like to hike because it's too hot, it's too cold, it's rainy. But I really love to camp. Yeah,
Type 2 fun, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Type 2 fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the most important part for me in hiking is being free for like 6 months.
Does that mean you hike in the nude, being free?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We actually did get naked on this trail a little bit.
Oh,
in
you
the Gila.
did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the Gila. Yeah.
Wait, just because it was such a crazy river,
We
so
were-
you're like,
we
all
were
right, let's just.
chafing. I was chafing so bad I remember putting my little man in my hands and rolling into getting warm as well. And I was like, I can't
Your
wear
little
these
man?
clothes. Yeah. I can't wear these clothes. They're just freezing everything. And yeah, we had to. I was chafing like my whole it wasn't even the bits you'd expect. It was my hips. My hips were rubbing like crazy. Where the pack touches the waistband on my trousers. I was struggling, yeah.
Was it just because it was so wet? Like it was
just so wet.
You're hitting some water.
I think every mile was maybe at some point it was between like 2 and 6 water crossings or something on like the really, really watery bits. Where the river's flowing through the canyon and you can't get on the canyon walls. You're just wading through the water the whole time. Yeah.
Note to self: I'm just gonna bring a bathing suit in that part then.
Honestly, that makes sense. Or swim shorts, something like that. Yeah. That would work.
Wow. I wonder why there are that many crossings. Is there no way to reroute the trail just around the river?
I think it's plausible when the water's a little bit lower. I think we were quite early up into the Gila, weren't we? We've been early on this whole trail. Mm-hmm. But that meant that all the snow was just melting, which means higher rivers, of course. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's hard to say how high the water was because it's different on different people, of course. Jedi was completely fine. I was getting swept away. I was like bobbing down at some points and falling over and all sorts. And once you accept that you're piss wet through the whole time, you just get on with it and you can start having fun. You know? But my God, in the mornings before the sun hits the valley, that's when you're freezing. That's when it's just absolutely freezing. Yeah. And do you remember Deuces, who was on the podcast?
Yeah.
So Deuces, we hiked with him in 22 as well. He's part of our whole crew. Mm-hmm. And Deuces we met in the Gila as well. He kind of hiked into the Gila with us also. And there was one day where he's gone first and he's gone, yeah, because you have to test where you're crossing all the time, checking which bits are good, which bits are too fast flowing, you might go down, trying to be safe, avoiding the trees, things like that. And Deuces has crossed at this one point and has gone, yeah, come this way, it's good. And the moment after he said that, he's plopped off this ledge. It's like, how early was it? Maybe 7:30 in the morning.
It was like 7 or 8, yeah.
So the sun's not hit the valley walls yet. It's not come down to the ground. So we're absolutely freezing. He stepped off this ledge and just plunged all the way down. Yeah. And he's like underwater for like a second. And then he's bobbed up again straight away. He's waded across and he was like, I've got to go. And he's just started moving to get warm again.
Oh.
And we were crying laughing. He was absolutely piss wet through. I think there's a photo of it we'll show you. That was a disaster.
My God.
We're going to have to ask him about that now.
That's so funny. Yeah. It was so funny.
Can we, if you'll share that photo with us, we'll post that on our Patreon
absolutely.
Too.
He's dripping wet. He's absolutely freezing. We only finally got a photo of him when we hit the sun as well. And he was still soaking wet. Like, it was so funny.
Bless sweet Deuces.
That's one of Deuce's pet peeves is being cold. So, yeah.
He hates being cold and wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that entire section. Poor sod.
Now, Cuppa, you've got a very distinguishable accent. You want to
I have indeed.
let folks know where you're from?
I get the piss taken out of me all the time on trail for this accent. I think these two are always mimicking me, aren't they? And saying, Cuppa and Jedi. What's Jedi doing?
Jedi.
Well, I think as I've been listening to Cuppa this time around, it's Jedi.
Jedi.
Not Jedi.
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 You pick up more and more and more.
It's so great, though. Your accent's so wonderful. That's why we do it.
So I'm from, there's a city in the north of England called Manchester, and that's home for me. Just north of that is a little town, if I'm being more specific, called Bury. And it's not famous for much. I think it's where black pudding comes from. And yeah, that's it. But the good thing about where I live is that, I mean, city-wise, it's a bit boring, but we have the hills on our doorstep the whole way around. So we've got the Lake District, which is like a big area to the north of us, left a bit. It's a bit further away. Then we've got the Yorkshire Dales to the right of us. And then we've got the Peak District, which runs the whole right-hand side lower to us as well. So I've always been able to kind of, escape into the hills a little bit quickly. Sometimes just jumping on a train or getting a lift up with mates, like going up a mountain or something. But it was never really like a multi-day thing, if that makes sense. So I think I'll answer the same way you did as well, because you said what you were doing to start hiking too. Okay, so I think I decided to hike. There's a trail in Scotland called the West Highland Way.
That's on our list.
Yeah, now that is a super easy trail. And they make a big deal of it in the UK because you don't have the culture.
It's a big slack packing trail, isn't it?
Oh, you can actually pay for somebody to drop your bags off the whole way if you want to do that. I think I already at that point was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to carry my stuff. But I had an Osprey Atmos backpack, which is like, I think it's with the brain on the top, it's like 80 litres or something ridiculous. Yeah,
80
huge.
litres.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's like carrying a human.
It was huge. And that was the backpack that I took to Australia with me. I did a year out in Australia travelling. And then I came back. I did, yeah.
Wait, did you do any trails around there too?
I did some day hikes around there. I was
Okay.
in the nature the whole time, but I think that's a lot more, beaches kind of travelling.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, I wanted to do some sort of hiking, and that was the backpack I had. I did the West Highland Way, said to my friends I was going to do it, and then set off on that. I think you end up, I think, where does it start? I think just outside of Glasgow. So you can get the train up to Glasgow and then jump onto the train just off there to start the trail. And I had this massive backpack. I had like a 3.5, 4 kilogram tent, which is like £8 maybe. Yeah.
Sweet Moses.
Yeah,
But I bet you had a lot of
crazy.
space.
And it was a festival tent that could not keep the water out. It was piss wet through every time you took it out. And this is England, don't forget, and Scotland. It's the UK.
Oh my god.
So it was absolutely pissing it down constantly. I had like 5 pairs of jeans with me. Yeah, yeah.
Jeans.
And trousers. And then I had about, I think it was 6 different outfits in total, 1 per day. Yeah, it was crazy. All of it was cotton.
How heavy was your backpack?
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was crazy.
It's
I think
like
I was
70 pounds.
I was doing like 10 miles a day, and this is a pretty flat trail as well. I was doing like 10 miles a day.
Okay.
And I remember, and I still had a great time. I loved it,
Did you at least know to bring something other than jerky and like dried fruit?
I think I was just, so we've got like meal deals in the UK where you buy a sandwich from, it'll be a bit like Walmart. You buy a sandwich from Walmart and you get a drink with it and you get a packet of crisps. And there's quite a few spots to get food on that trail. So it's
so
not,
you just get real food then?
yeah, it's not quite as rural as you might expect. In fact, that trail ends at it's only 100 miles long as well. You could do it so quickly. When you get to the end of that trail, that's where the mountains begin. So I feel like I really think it's not the best trail at all to do. It's really famous and I don't really understand why. I think it's just because it's so accessible.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was this girl from Germany who walked past me on that trail. I made friends with her and she had this tiny pack. And I was in absolute shock. Yeah. She was called Serena. Or maybe it was Switzerland, one of those countries, where all the hikers come from. And she was like, oh yeah, well, I hiked this trail in America called the Pacific Crest Trail. And I was like, you're having a laugh. There's no way somebody walks from Mexico to Canada across the whole of America. And I'm, breaking my back here on a 100-mile stretch in Scotland where there's footpath the whole way. And she really planted the seed. She was like, well, there's permits are coming around soon. You might as well apply. I had a quick apply. And I managed to get, because the lottery system that they've got.
Oh, it's crazy. It's like a dog-eat-dog, like gladiator arena.
Yeah. And I managed to get a really, really early start date, which was like the 9th of March.
Yeah, it was right after us. Yeah.
And that was it. Once I got that permit, I was like, oh, shit's getting real. Here we go.
And then did you have to apply for a visa after that? Like, do you have to prove that you've got the permit?
Don't even start with the visa. So this was with COVID, okay? This was the year after COVID, so I've been home for a year. But the backlog to getting an appointment for the American visas was like over a year long or something. And I'm ready to start in like 3 months to get to when it's going to be March, to when I need to go for this trail. So I've started ringing the embassy in London every single day. And they're telling me, I'm emailing them constantly. I'm getting emails back saying, Mr. Sindall, this is not an emergency.
Like,
we cannot give you an appointment. I was like, you don't understand. I need this. You know what I mean? So finally, I got an email back from the embassy saying, look, again, this is not an emergency. It's supposed to be for like if you're flying a coffin back from a different country or something for a relative. That's why they give you an emergency appointment. But they said, look, there might be some cancellations that become available on this date at this time. And I went on there and they were flying. They were going like dots,
Just like the PCT permits.
It was honestly, it was the exact same. It was the exact same thing. And I just managed to snag an appointment. And it was a couple, I think it was like a week and a half before my flight or something like that. It was so stressful, yeah. But as soon as I got to that interview, it was so easy. The woman at the desk, she knew what, she was like, I was like, I'm hiking this trail. I promise you I'm not crazy. And she was like, oh, my sister did it 2 years ago. And I was like, oh. All the stress and relief, suddenly they just accept you straight away. And it was so easy. And that was it. Then it was on.
I think one of my favorite things also when we started hiking together, like after Deep Creek and stuff, you told us more of your story and how like you had sold things. We could take this out, but you had sold things.
I don't mind if you put it in.
I don't know if it was black market or not.
I can't talk numbers in case the taxman's listening.
It was totally legal what he did.
No, give over. It wasn't at all.
This is the perfect part.
It was. I'd come back from Australia. Go on, sorry.
No, I was gonna say this is the next part of the question.
Go on.
What do you do for a living?
Right. Okay.
And how did you save? What do you do for a living, and how'd you save up for the PCT?
When I get asked this question on trail, I sink because it's like,
amazing. Honestly, I was like, wait, is he making this shit up?
You meet people on trail and they're like brain surgeons and doctors and like retirees who have like mastered the profession for like 50 years, and then they ask you, what do you do? And I think I'd come back from Australia. We were in full lockdown. I didn't really have too much money, I'd spent it all traveling. And again, just to be clear, I didn't make a fortune doing this. It helped. It made some bits to go traveling with, But I think lockdown had happened, and we've got a shop called Argos in the UK, which is like you buy things online. If you remember the old catalogues that you'd shop in, and then you'd like circle what you wanted for Christmas, and you'd show your mum or whatever.
Yes.
So it was like that, but it's turned into a shop where you order online now, and then they'll hold your item, and you go and pick it up from the store, and they'll send it to that store. So I was buying loads of gym weights and stuff, because all the gyms had closed during lockdown, okay? And then I was buying loads of gym weights. They hold them in the store for up to 30 days. So I had like my own little corner in the shop where I wasn't picking up these items. I'd listed them all on Facebook Marketplace and on eBay. And it was like, so I was upped up the price a little bit, obviously, buying and selling them. And then whenever somebody had bought them, I'd just drive to Argos and say, hiya, can I pick up these dumbbells and this like squat rack and all this sort of stuff? And then they say, okay, but you do realise we've got a whole corner of stuff here of yours. It's like, oh no, yeah, I don't want to pick that up yet. It's like absolutely no shame. But like people, so I'd go and pick it up and then people would come to my front door and buy them. I remember that ran out and we came out of lockdown again. UK lockdown was a f***ing shambles. God knows what the government were doing. So they waited for everybody to get COVID again. And then they decided to lock down again just in time for summer. So everybody had to cancel all of the holidays and where they were going on different countries and whatnot. And suddenly everybody was doing up the back gardens and I couldn't get any gym weights. They'd all gone. They were impossible to get now. So the second lockdown, I think I was walking through B&M Bargains, which is like a bargain shop in the UK. And I saw there was these like inflatable hot tubs and they were on discount. And I thought, God, people are going to be wanting these desperately now. So I ended up, I had my friend Rowan, I think we picked up a few and drove them back to my house. And then Mum was with her car to go and pick up the other ones around the area. So we went to every B&M Bargains around Manchester, picked up all of these hot tubs, took them back, and her whole living room was full of these massive, heavy cardboard boxes. And she was so worried at first, like, what the f*** is this kid spending his money on? And she was like, you're putting squares in my carpet. And so we shoved them all in my brother's room because he was away travelling. And as soon as that first person came to the door to buy it for whatever price I'd put it up for, she was then in on it. She was like, oh my God, it's working. He's he's doing something, something productive. I'm not going to stop him now. So yeah, I sold a couple of them. I think it was like 20 something in total. Maybe
so you
15.
sold 20?
Something like that, yeah. And I mean, the first ones were really good. And then as we got to the end of lockdown, I think I sold a few for around the price I bought them to just friends who wanted to sort their own thing out,
Well, how much were you making? What was your return?
I can't say that. No,
Okay.
But it was enough to, it helped for some of the PCT. It really did. And then I had a couple more savings as well. And that's how I funded it. And then for this trail, then once we finish that, I'll find any bullshit way to make money, I really will. Eventually, I'll sort my life out and get a job. But I was working in, that's it. I've started doing like clinical trials, like medical trials. And then whenever I say that, people say like, oh, like as the doctor. And I'm like, no, as the human lab rat. Like, professional guinea pig. So yeah, in the UK, I don't think I do them in America. I feel like they're too rich. You chop your leg off and then throw you £1 million. And then you'd be like, oh crap, but I've got no leg, I think in the UK it's a bit more careful, and they're nowhere near as scary as you might think they are. Usually it's just like it'll be something like Tylenol, and they'll tweak it slightly, rebrand it as the new wonder drug, or whatever, and they'll make millions from it. It's all money orientated, but there have been a few interesting ones. I think the last one I just did was like a psilocybin trial, and it was like a really high dose intravenous injection. And I remember they pulled us into the room, and I was like person number 7 of this out of 8 people, and there was 1 placebo left and 1 drug left. So I was thinking, I'm not even going to get it. So I was there like not even bothered, just like chatting to the doctors and nurses and stuff who I've made friends with, you know. And then they put this drug in, and I was absolutely flying within about 10 seconds. I was being shown like the meaning of the universe by a square and everything. And this doctor's coming over to me and saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel right now? And I'm going, I'm fucking flying. You know, yeah. So yeah, that's it. And they've made it so that I can get a lot of free time to travel. They pay really quickly. They pay fast. It's like staying in a hostel.
Jedi, that's a hard one to follow up after.
Yeah. What do you do? What have you done?
So I'm just an electrician. I did my job, saved money, and yeah, that's it.
Like a normal human being.
Like a normal human being. Sadly, I not get paid for taking drugs.
I'm sure you would love that.
Way better income for me.
No, professional in a week.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's good. I love that job. I learned to love that job. I hated my first company. That's also why I quit my job and start hiking the AT. And after that, I found a really good company. My boss is like a legend. I love him. And he's also is saying, okay, you go in 6 month hiking, but please come back. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I love my coworkers, my boss. So it's a great job.
That's like the dream scenario, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's like knowing that you can come back to a job versus what am I going to do after I come back? Yeah.
I mean, it's a job it's a need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need electricians. And not many people doing it right now in Germany.
You're thinking about, because it's a trade that you can use all over the world, and you can get paid a hell of a lot more than in Germany in other places. You're thinking about
like
other
here.
places, aren't you?
You could get paid a lot here.
I can go anywhere,
You're thinking about Canada?
I'm thinking about Canada. I have family in Canada.
What part?
So, Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty close to Camp Loops, what is a really great spot for like snowboarding, biking, hiking. It's like a whole sports city. It's a city just built for sports.
It's like a playground for you.
Oh,
yeah, it's like
it'd be so much easier to come see you there.
Also, and it's
You should consider being an electrician in Colorado.
Maybe.
And then
this winter,
we can all come and crash in your podcast room instead.
So your current boss, manager, whatever you want to call them, do they require like constant check-ins with you? Or do you do that as kind of like a courtesy? Or is it like, hey, I'm going to leave here for 6 months. Promise I'll be back. Bye.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
He's also a guy who he did the base camp to Everest. Yeah, really cool with a friend. So I think he can understand a little bit like about the going out into the woods, like the wild.
Living your life.
Yeah, living your life. But yeah, he was like, I mean, he was not really happy about that I already left again.
I'm sure.
Like 2 times now for the PCT and the CDT. But yeah.
He must have Googled that there's another trail coming up. That there's one.
Yeah,
more
I think he already knows that when I'm going back, I'm like, hey, maybe in a year I'm going again. But that's fine, I think. He's making a lot of profit with me, so
that's what matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone knows on this podcast that we always refer to both of you together, but how did you become friends?
Oh, this is cool.
I love this story. Can I tell it?
Go on, yeah.
Okay. So as a Jedi, I really have like this sense of I know which people I'm like and which one not. And it was like in Julian, mile 70 on the PCT. And I was already like in the bar with Boondoggle, was drinking some beers, but then I walked like around the town, like looking how the town looks. And I saw like this guy with his backpack on the other side of the road. And I never did this. No, I did it one time when I met my best friend in kindergarten. I was like going straight to my best friend and said, hey, I'm Felix, how's it going? And since then we are like best friends. And the same story with Cuppa. So I was going straight over to the other side of the road and told him like, hey, and asked him if you're a hiker. And he's like, yeah, I'm hiking a PCT. And I'm like, me too. And that's how we went together to the brewery, drink a little bit, talked. We met Prism and Shroom Boots, I think.
Did.
Okay.
And Daydreamer, yeah.
And Daydreamer, yeah. And that's how we, and then we left Julian together.
This sounds like the first 10 minutes of every rom-com ever.
I feel like you always like when Cuppa and Jedi are in the room, there's a laugh. It's always gonna be a laugh somewhere. But
we had a good time there, and then I think we all hiked out, didn't we? We all headed. I think
you had a different hitch. You had the crazy lady with the stick lady.
that
who
might
gave you
be
a hitch,
one of the worst hitches I've ever had. That was insane. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told you this.
I don't
one.
think we've
Wait,
ever heard this hitch
Stick
story.
lady.
I'll tell this story quickly. I promise.
Okay.
So this is our first hitch on trail, first town. We have no idea what we're doing. Absolutely no idea what we're doing. Somebody's hitchhiked with this lady the day before and said, "Oh, you guys can have a lift. She'll do it for you." She said meet at her like little house in town or something, her little like room at like maybe 8 a.m., 7:30, something like that. We're all there on the dot, really well behaved through hikers. We're there sitting perched outside 10 minutes early or whatever. She's opened the door into a room, yeah. She said, come in. We're stood outside of a car. We've gone to the door and knocked on. She said, come in. It turns out that she's some crazy lady. And she's opened the door for us. We've all waddled in and she's got a live stream on. And she's live streaming. We've no idea how many people. But she's set out all these cups of teas for us or whatever. So I thought I was in heaven, but no, I'm kidding. We've all sat down. She's super into all the spiritual side of stuff and the nature healing and all the, the kind of people that are into all the spiritual tarot reading stuff. She's pulled out this stick and she's handing the stick round to us. We're all so confused, just wanting to get a ride back to trail. And she's going, what do you think of this stick? How does this stick make you feel? And all this sort of stuff. And she's handed it to me and I'm just like, it's sticky. We've no idea what to do. She's put us... We were then trapped there for about half an hour. She's talking about how she's going to be the mayor of Julian. And she's going to run Julian. And she's got like all these marijuana fields in a different country or whatever, back wherever she was from. And then finally, we're about to leave. She turns off all the podcast stuff. We're thinking, oh, thank God for that. We all get into a car. And then she says, I'm just going to go see my doctor. She goes for a fucking doctor's appointment. So we're sat there for another half an hour wondering what the hell is going on here. We've been faffed around for about an hour and a half in total or something. Finally, she gets in the car and we're driving down and she has the audacity to turn around to us all in the car and go, I heard you through hikers are really good tippers.
No.
How rude is that? How out of order is that? So we're all like, what? I was furious, I was so angry. And then... how bad is that? Yeah.
You should have told her to ask her stick how much she should take.
Speak to the stick will let you know. So it was one of those moments where you're so early on the trail, so inexperienced. I had no idea how to behave or tipping culture in America, which I still think is garbage to this day. But we've no idea what to do. So we've just rumpled a few of our scrunched up dollars out of it. Oh God, yeah. I wish I hadn't paid her a penny. I wish I'd got out of the car at that moment and just walked on,
Right.
Yeah.
Just gotten a hitch.
Happy to pay for anybody who gives a ride, but you do it before you get in the car. You say,
right.
you say...
You give that understanding
Absolutely.
of like, hey, I'm actually going to charge you for this ride.
Yeah.
Or you don't say anything and you just hope that they give you a
your
tip.
choice.
Right.
Yeah, we've no problem with that. We've never any issue helping
Right.
paying for petrol or whatever or gas or whatever you call it here. We've no issue paying for that, It's just make it a choice. Make that distinct conversation happen before we get into the vehicle so that there's no pressure and awkwardness.
And please, if you charge money on thru hikers, you're not a trail angel, okay?
It's a business.
It's donation
It's
based.
a business at that point.
It's a business. There's people who make, and I mean, they must make thousands in a year just sitting at the trailheads saying, I'll charge you 60. And there's nothing wrong with this. Yeah. But list yourself as an Uber driver if you want to do that for thru hikers. I mean, it helps us. It's amazing. We're happy to pay for whatever. But Trail Angel, it's a real magic, isn't it? Where it's about somebody giving back when we'll probably do Trail Angel in one day, I think.
Yeah.
As you guys will also. Where you give back you just sit at a trailhead with sodas and you don't expect a penny,
You just want to see the joy on the hiker's face.
You're giving back
that
for the
it
amount
gives
of
them.
that you've done, for the amount of treatment that you've had where somebody's helped you out in the shittest of weather. Like when we pulled into town and it's a massive thunderstorm and you've whipped around in your car to come and get us and I'm sprinting down and there's lightning going on and I'm thinking, I'm going to die, base camp, save me.
That was fun.
we're going to try and do trail magic later towards the end of July for CT and CDT hikers around Timberline, actually.
Yeah, it's trail karma is what I say.
That's it, exactly. You've got bad karma if you're demanding money from people after you've driven them in your car, you know?
Yeah, because we don't expect anything from you guys. Like, we want to host you. We want you to feel,
Yeah.
because we know what that feels like when
Yeah.
people would just give to us on trail. They would cook food for us. They'd give us beers, and there was just no expectation in return.
Yeah.
And that I'm so happy that we can do that for you, because it's like there's such a wonderful feeling in that, you know?
And again, there's nothing wrong with saying, look, guys, I'm not rich. I'd love to give you a ride, but if you can chuck us $10 or something, we'd love to do that. You know, we'd always happily do that. It helps us. It helps you.
Yeah.
That's perfect. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember whenever we had to do the Lionshead closure, you know, everybody handled that in their own different way, but a lot of people took shuttles further up north to around Government Camp, or what was that trailhead?
It was Frog Lake Trailhead.
Frog Lake Trailhead. And some of these people who were given rides were scalping hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
One woman, we got her just to hold our gear for like a day. She
Yeah.
charged us $25, $50 just to keep our gear in her car.
Just
That's
to keep her
incredible.
gear in our car.
It's
Yes.
astonishing. It's
Yeah,
astonishing.
Yeah,
She asked for money. At least she didn't hold our gear and then say,
No, I don't.
like, hey, well, you
if
got to
somebody
give
gives
me
you
money.
a business
but-
proposition, I want to,
yeah.
you know, I'm going to make money from doing this. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
You know,
And she was absolutely a businesswoman, but she didn't flaunt herself off as a trail angel.
that's fine. I
Yeah.
have no issue with that. Good
I
for
mean,
you.
she
you
was
know?
charging like, how much? 250 probably to take through hikers from
was
that
crazy.
117-mile thing.
We had. We'll explain what happened. So there was this. Was it a 17-mile closure or 19-mile closure?
Yeah, I think
or
it, or
something like
18. It was something like that. 18.
Something
or-
really close. Okay, and then they've had a year and a half or something since the fire. Maybe even maybe a year, maybe 2 years,
It
something.
might have even been 2 years, but it was a long time for a fire
Was it a long
closure.
time? Yeah.
And I know that they're not allowed to technically fix anything until after a year has even gone for the fire because it's so dangerous. Things can fall over, things can, you know, the workers have to be safe. Of course they do. But they put absolutely nothing in place for the PCT hikers that are going through that year. And the whole point of us all hiking, obviously for the right reasons of it's got to be fun and enjoyable, but we're all trying to achieve a continuous footpath from Mexico to Canada. That's the challenge of the through hike. It's what we're all attempting to do. And they put nothing in place for us. So there was locals who were saying, I'll shuttle you around the fire for $150 per seat in my vehicle. And if you think they've got like a 6-person car, we're talking serious money. And they could do that a few times a day. They were earning thousands and thousands. You know, it was unbelievable.
I think it was more like they charge you 150, but if the car is full, you can split the money.
I think
think
that's what
that
it
was
was.
the-
No, it was per seat.
Was it?
Some of them were per
Really?
seat.
Per
It was
seat?
you were paying
That's
for a
too
seat
much.
in the vehicle. That
That's
was it.
too much.
I'm not surprised though,
Yeah.
because and so many people were doing it too.
Yeah.
Like, well, because there was no alternative. Like
Well,
you're
it's
saying,
taken
there's
advantage
no
of it.
alternative.
I don't think the PCTA had realised, it's probably not the PCTA, it's probably just the local national service or the fire service or whatever who were around there. They left everybody stranded there.
The
in that
Forest
area.
Service,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, all it would have taken was to make a safer, like, I don't know,
Route.
route to the
Yeah.
right, to the left, something in place.
Well, and I know because we actually really tried to figure that out for us too, and it
Yeah.
was so the left was tribal land, so we would have had to get permission from the tribes
Yeah.
to hike through that area.
Uh-huh.
And the right was Forest Service.
Yeah.
And but there was no path. And I remember what's his name, Josh Perry, because they were like, no, you can't skip this section. No,
Yeah.
you can't do the road.
Uh-huh.
Or I guess he could have done the road, but he just knew it was going to take longer.
He's the fastest
he-
known time guy, isn't he?
Well, he was going to be.
Yeah.
But he was trying to beat Tim Olson's
Okay.
record.
Yeah.
Self-supported. But what happened is he literally bushwhacked
Yeah.
around the right
Mhm.
and ended up, I don't think he got lost, but he bushwhacked and it was
He'd have
crazy.
lost some serious time, yeah.
And he lost some serious time and he missed the FKT by like a day, even though Tim Olson got to skip.
yeah.
They
Oh,
let
for
him
God's
skip.
sake,
They
yeah.
like FKT actually gave Tim Olson permission to
Yeah.
skip, and they didn't give him Josh
I don't
Perry
think they
permission.
should
It was
be able
weird.
To, personally, I don't think they should be able to skip, but yeah.
No, and Josh Perry was like, "Well, that's not very fair if you let
No,
him
not at
skip,
all.
but you won't let me skip." And so I think he had to go like 40 miles out of the way, bushwhacking
Well,
up
you
a
guys,
mountain.
You went 100 and something miles on the
114.
highways round the outside, which the PCT, that's not safe to do. You know, I mean, on the CDT, we've had loads of road walking as well throughout the whole of New Mexico. That is the trail for a lot of it, you know, through that section. But it's dangerous. People get hit. There's been cases of it where people have died and things like that. And I just think for the sake of just allowing for 19 miles through hikers that have gone through snow, shit, fire, all sorts, you could have sorted something out. I really think so.
Yeah, I agree. It was very dangerous on that highway that we were on. Like there were 18-wheelers going so fast.
And the heat, and there's no water sources that things like this. And
oh yeah, we had the worst heat rash of our lives on
God.
that road walk.
Yeah.
Was not also the fire from Bernie or before Bernie? That was also just like a year ago, and they just opened it.
And we got to go through that. They opened it for our PCT hikers.
Great.
Yes.
Well, once we'd gone through, and I think, there's a cloud over this conversation, is that ultimately, I think we really made the wrong decision here, but it is a good story. Is that me, Jedi, and probably half the people on the trail in that area went through the fire closure, which you absolutely should not do. I'll make that clear. You should always respect fire closures.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. You should never do that. You should always respect fire
Asterisk.
closures. But this is what happened. Okay, so some people started to go through, and then because they'd read the situation, why everyone was really angry with the fire service or whatever, the forest service, and some people had started to go through, and there was a ranger apparently sat at the start of it, and she'd confiscated some through hikers' permits.
She sure did take some through hiker,
did.
and she fined people too.
She was brutal the way she did it, I think.
Yeah.
And then, so we were like, oh, fuck this. It's become a game now. It's become a game of cat and mouse. So
Yeah.
we all then decided we're going to go through at nighttime.
This is why we decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want our permits to get taken away. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you should definitely follow the rules. Don't follow our behavior. We're not very good boys, are we?
Naughty boys.
But honestly, it became a game of 50% of hikers sneakily going through at nighttime, 25% hitching up ahead, skipping, and then another bunch of people walking the roads. And then a couple weeks later, they opened it anyway.
Yep.
So what could have possibly changed in the space of about 2 weeks where they finally opened it for all the through hikers? It was so bullshit.
Probably just waiting on some higher up to sign a piece of paper.
That was literally
honestly.
it. That was literally it, with thousands of through hikers all waiting to wonder what we're going to do about this closure.
And it was all around the bubble. It's like, okay, what are we going to do now? Because we all hadn't had to break our footpath at all yet. And a lot of people
what mile
had.
were we at? What mile was that?
It was in Oregon in the middle. So
Yeah, it was around Sisters.
1,600, give or take 100 something miles, couple of hundred.
So almost probably at the 2,000. Had we already
Nearly
hit? No, because we'd already hit
2,600
because we'd already hit the midway. We were in
Yeah.
Oregon at that point. So we're not going to break our footpath at this point.
God
And
no.
we're so close to the end.
So we definitely chose to be naughty through hikers that went through for the sake of 19 miles. And it was a beautiful hike. We loved it.
Oh, I'm so sad we hadn't seen it. Yeah.
I do remember one
Yeah.
point where it's pitch black. We've all got our head torches on. We've got there's a whole group of people who with head torches on, and we're all staring at each other across the side of a mountain, and they're coming towards us and we're coming towards them, and we keep stopping clearly one by one, And then we're thinking, oh shit, is this like a trail crew or something? Or is this like the Rangers or something? We're all shitting ourselves. It turns out it's another group that had taken the wrong direction and they were coming back to the trail again. But there was that point where we're all staring at each other thinking, oh, we're all going to get in trouble. We're all going to lose our permits. We're going to get kicked out of America. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, do you want to ask the next question?
Yes. Jedi, this one is directed at you.
Yeah.
So you hiked the Appalachian Trail before the PCT in 22, but you didn't do all of it. Is that right?
No, I didn't all of it.
You did?
I had to skip the Smokies.
Oh, you had to skip
I had
the
to
Smokies.
skip the Smokies
They-
because of COVID, yeah.
Gotcha.
They shut it down, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
the
shut it
national
down.
parks,
The
that's
Rangers
right.
were like also like at the Firehead closer and on the PCT. At the
Okay.
Lionshead, sorry.
Okay.
There were like Rangers really strict with the rules. And I
Believe
can
it.
understand it for like COVID. That
Yeah.
was okay. Later on, after that, I think it calmed down a little bit because in the Shenandoahs, I met like Rangers and they were just waving at me. And if they see I have like an AT tag, they know I'm a thru hiker. I'm like out in the woods for like 6 months.
So you're not going to be exposed. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think they were like strict with day hikers at the end of like COVID, or not the end of COVID, but when they like calmed down with the situation.
Well, so you just skipped the Smokies on the AT.
Yeah.
Do you intend to go back and hike just the Smokies, or are you going to go back and do the whole AT again?
I want to do the whole AT. like with
Okay.
the whole AT experience. Maybe
Okay.
without a tent to like shelter hop. That's
Yeah.
like really fun.
Shelter Blaze.
Yeah. And yeah, it was nice to be alone, but I really want to have like the whole experience about like, because the AT is like a community trail where you really have a tramily, you really have like a bunch of people in the hostels, and I think that's great. So I want to hike the AT really again. Yeah.
Okay. Because after you finish the CDT this year, I mean, you'll basically be a triple crowner except for the Smokies.
Yeah, but I don't really care about the title.
Okay, fair
So-
enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, I just love the trails here. I love that you're like really deep into the woods. Yeah, that's like the best part, and the community, of course.
You were talking about that yesterday about a lot of the trails in Germany. You're always so close to a town or a village, and you love the remoteness of being kind of out here where you don't see a town or even a car for almost a week sometimes.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like nice to have a view without like cities like in the picture. So that's like the best. You have like on Mount Albert. Oh no, there was like Twin Lake and Lake City, but on Mount Albert you had like 360 views about like nothing else, just mountain and forests, and that's like the best part on America and the trails here.
Can I jump in? So I did some of the trails in Europe on this year off between the PCT and here. And I think it was the Tour de Mont Blanc and the Alta Via one.
Oh, you did the
In
TMB?
Italy?
I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if I
yeah.
realized you did.
Yeah. So I did the TMB, and then I think after that I booked. I was doing like little city hops as well to all the cities around Europe that I'd never been to. That was the problem with that whole hike and the whole of the Dolomites in Italy as well, the north of Italy. There are huts and refuges and chalets in every single view, in every picture you take, everywhere you go. And I mean, it's nice to be able to sit down and have spaghetti bolognese every 10 miles. You know what I mean? But you never feel like you're out in the wild. And I think that is ultimately the reason why we keep coming back to America.
Oh.
You can go, if you want to, you can go 2 weeks without seeing another person. Like, you really can. You can get so far out there, so deep in the snow that nobody will see you. And I think there's few places that, A, have the safety to be able to go and do that. You know, you could probably go up into, like, I don't know, Kyrgyzstan or, you know, the Himalayas in the middle of nowhere, the middle of absolute nowhere. But there's few places that actually have spots where you can pick up 2 weeks of food or a week of food or something like that. And I think they're maybe Scotland, probably Norway, Sweden maybe, Finland is another one. You know, America, Canada, probably half of South America if you go deep in the jungle or whatever, or into the
Oh,
Andes
gosh.
and things.
That'd be scary.
But yeah, it's so that whole central block of Europe, they've just built ski resorts and chalets on the entire thing. So I think that's really why America has that draw, because there's the vastness of it. It's incredible.
You can get lost
You
here
really
in a
can.
good way.
Yeah,
I think, you know, it's interesting, Cuppa. You guys should go and do the TMB when it's like in the fall when they've closed down everything,
Yeah.
because that's when we did it, was the end of October, beginning of November, and everybody told us not to.
Yeah.
And there was no snow anywhere.
Yeah.
And everything was shut down, but we just took our tent and it was amazing.
That
like,
might be so lovely.
no one was out there and it was
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like fall, you know, leaves hitting. And honestly, I'm so glad that we did it in that season and not in the summer. I
Yeah.
would have probably lost my mind in the summer.
Oh, definitely. And some of those refuges as well. I mean, they still have like a winter room, or they'll give you winter access for
Yeah.
backcountry skiers and things like that. So we still had shelter options aside from just our tent, because, you know,
There's actually
backcountry
space
tent
to sit in
camping is
there.
frowned upon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were like stealth camping from
Oh,
time
I-
to time on that trail. It's like,
The
is
whole of
anyone
Europe.
out here?
I camped the whole way around that, and nobody.
Yeah.
I think again, it's one of those rules. It's a bit like I don't know, but it's one of those rules where they clearly say it's instructed for the average day hiker that can't pick up the garbage. That I mean, we don't use fires anyway, but can't put out a campfire properly. Things like this, you know. They're clearly for those people that can't. Well, it's day hiker problems, isn't it? If we've done
We
it a
think
million
so.
times, we know every single bit of our kit. If there's a tent peg missing, we can sense it instantly. Something's wrong. Something's missing. We can search the area, and I just think that day hikers, it's for them. If we're gonna hike up, you know, I think in Tour de Mont Blanc you're at like 2,000 something meters. If you set your tent up there, nobody's ever gonna know, and a through hike is never gonna be a problem. They're never gonna be an issue whatsoever, and there's already camp spots clearly everywhere the whole way around. So, I mean, I think it's one of those rules. It's a bit like in England. Technically, in England, you're not allowed to camp but it's one of those like laws that we purposefully break to exercise the right to camp in the wild all the time, so that we have access to it consistently. And I think that's kind of the attitude across Europe as well. It's there to stop people from abusing the system, from setting up a campfire with 30 lads and having loads of beers and leaving a load of trash and rubbish.
For sure. And we definitely have our own opinion on this, but I'd love to hear, and this is not a scripted question, what you think the difference is between a backpacker and a day hiker.
They call it ham and eggers, don't they? It's mostly it's about the type of food that you have or the size of the camp that you make. When we're camping, we've literally got a square of ground that we've set up, and we don't need anything else. We need literally nothing else. Whereas I think a day hiker, they're going to want to have, I don't know, showers, a privy, a toilet, all these kinds of things.
They bring in their own gallon of water.
Yeah, they bring in the massive fuel gas canisters.
Yeah,
and
generators.
The car is parked 50 meters from the tent. I just think, what's the point? You might as well sleep in your car. Stay
That's
in your
what
car
we
for the
do.
night.
We car camp if we're going to take our car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's also a difference in mindset as well. Like if you're backpacking or through hiking, you're home where you are, where you pitched your tent that night. That is your home. And if you're just out there for the weekend, you probably, not always, but you might have a little bit less respect and kind of treat it more like a hotel, like you use and abuse it,
Yeah, absolutely. We noticed it specifically when we just come up to a fire in the Twin Lakes area. And I mean, how scary for the residents who live there. Thankfully, it was on the other side of the lake. But that whole, they were so worried they thought it could have blown up, and it's so near where people live in housing estates and things like that.
A lot of houses there.
A lot of houses there, yeah. And as soon as we came off the CDT, because we to keep our footpath, we walked down from what was that trail
Cottonwood Pass.
That's the one. So it was a 19-mile walk down to Buena Vista, and then we hiked up the 24, and then connected over the 82 to join back at the trail again, north of Twin Lakes. But that whole hike down, how many firings did we see from day hikers in there? We must have, in a 19-mile space, seen maybe 150 firings or something, maybe 100.
I don't know. I was not counting.
I believe it, because dispersed camping is a huge thing out here, especially down in that area because of motor vehicles.
And there's a road the whole way through. So clearly it's accessible to people and it's a really busy road, so that people can literally just pull off the road at any point with a camp spot, with a firing. And I just thought, of course there's a fire here. How is this legal? How is this still a thing,
I know. And I'm wondering in Colorado how much longer it will be a thing if it continues.
As it gets hotter. And I think as Colorado starts to experience what California experiences with fires, they'll recognize the problem that all it takes is one fire and you could actually wipe out a whole town. You can't stop them once they start,
No. It's really sad.
I think they'll ban them eventually.
Don't get us started on this.
I'm sure you're very used to it.
Gotten a lot of...
California can be extreme about a lot of things, and their footprint is on all hiking equipment just about that you can even find in stores. But I think they've got the fire thing down.
That's so necessary.
Yeah,
it's so necessary.
Yeah, and when I say that, I mean whenever you get your permit to hike the PCT, before you ever go and hike, you have to take a little online course about fire safety, when to and when not to use fires. So it'd be cool if we did that.
Because people don't realize, even though we're in the mountains, it's still desert. Like if you come down a bit, you can see cactuses and things, and you can see, and it's so dry. And there's trees and things, but when you get into the dirt, it's so dry.
It's very dry here, and we're also up at higher elevation here too, which makes everything drier. And people don't think about that when they think of Colorado because we get so much snow. Yeah. But once the snow melts, it dries out within a month.
So quickly.
Yeah, and you're really not supposed to do fires above, I think it's 10,000 feet. Yeah. And the state is so windy. Like these mountains create their own microclimates, and you can get these wind bursts, and that just gives fuel to fire.
All it takes, yeah.
Okay, switching gears. Cuppa, how many miles have you hiked in Crocs?
Oh, God.
What is that like?
Right, okay. I think I had a nightmare with a pair of shoes on the PCT. I think this is Build-A-Bear mentioned this in his podcast, didn't he?
Yeah.
I had a nightmare on the PCT with a pair of shoes where, I won't say the brand because that's not fair, I don't think. It takes is one pair of shoes.
Honestly, we want authenticity, though, because that's what people need to know. Thru hikers need to know what's good and what's not out there. That's the point.
I don't know.
Brutally honest.
Was it Ultras?
No.
Was it Hoka's?
No.
Brooks?
It was Topos.
No,
Solomon's?
It was Topos. Yeah. But again, amazing customer service. They sent me another pair. Once the problem, but the exact same thing happened with the other pair. Now, let's be honest, every through hike is different. I think what do you call it? Underpronation, where your foot bends to the left a bit or something. And I think that was the issue. But I think they've got a really high foam pad, but it's really skinny on the inside, so it crushed in the whole inside. It felt like I was walking on the side of my shoe for like however many miles I suffered for it. And I think the trail in the desert was super sideways as well. So I
felt that way too, Cuppa.
Crushing up the entire inside of the shoe, walking on the side of it, and I just thought, fuck this, I'm going to put my Crocs on. So I've got these like, what they call shark something Crocs from Walmart. They were like $15. And when you think about how much we spend on hiker shoes for how far they get you, this is not a bad deal at all. So I put them on. I think I did about probably close to 100 miles in the desert. It's only 100 miles, but in the Crocs. But they wore through with that rugged terrain and the rocks and everything. They wore through pretty quickly. But it worked.
What, were they comfortable?
They were definitely more comfortable than the shoes I was wearing. So yeah, it worked out well. People were freaking out. They were like, what are you doing? You're asking for a problem. And maybe I was, I don't know. But we got there and it worked perfectly fine. I think what we did is we whacked the insoles into the inside of the Crocs. Okay. It's basically a pair of shoes at that point. You're just walking on foam, you know? And then we had the same thing in the Healer again. The Healer is on the CDT. It's a river that runs through the whole south section. It's actually an alternate, so you can choose to do it. It was really high water, and you're gonna, again, as we described, you're gonna be piss wet through the whole time. We were like waist deep in water, fast flowing.
Oh my god!
For like 100 miles again. Was it 120? No. Something like that.
115 something.
115. There's about 180 crossings in total. I'd probably say about 150 of those were ones where you were properly getting wet.
So you just kept your Crocs on the whole time. You're like, why take my shoes on and off?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm
not
going to destroy my shoes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was all fine until this last 10 miles or something, road walk or something like that, right at the end of it. Yeah. And then just when we're coming back into civilization, and I didn't swap, and oh my god, my feet were in bits. My ankles, the whole lot. I was like waddling. Dark candles? I think so,
waddling.
Yeah.
Waddling.
I was like waddling the whole time just to get through it. I thought, oh, I've really fucked it here. I'm going to have a few days off. Yeah. So yeah,
bless.
Only do it if it's really necessary, but it's possible. It is possible to do it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to ask the next one?
Next question. Okay. So this one is for both of you, but Jedi, I want you to answer this first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, PCT 2022.
Yeah.
What is your highest and your lowest moment from that trail?
Wow. Highest and lowest moment. I would say the highest was like the highest mountain, Mount Whitney. No, that was
fair.
really, yeah. It was like, you know, being like 4,000 feet up at 4,000 meters, sorry.
Yeah, about 14,000
It's like 14,000 feet, yeah. Being up was like my first time climbing such a big mountain. I'm glad that I had no like problems, like no attitude problems, nothing. Oh, highest moments also. I don't really know.
I think you loved going into Canada, didn't you?
I was going to say, what about the end?
Like the end was like, oh my god,
you
it
were
was the
one of
perfect
those
end.
people who
I
got
was
to
one
go
of
into
those
Canada
people, yeah.
when it blew up.
So
the whole fire.
the fires blew up on the end, and we were like celebrating on the border. Everyone was like, yeah, we did it. And so we all, after the celebration, we took our stuff. We want to go back, but Siren was like, wait, guys, I just had a message that's like, the fires are blowing up. We should not go back. We should maybe wait and see what's happening, because there was still like 8 miles into Canada. I mean, to a national park.
Let's explain first. We were closed off from going into Canada that season because of COVID. So.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So we couldn't get into Canada.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Canada was still strict, I think,
Very
with the COVID rules,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So we were like, okay, it's 30 miles back. The fires are blowing up like really quick, and we were like, okay, come on, we celebrate more and just stay on the border till the ranger from Canada was like landing with his helicopter on the border, telling us, hey, there is a fire in Canada too. So we were like circled in a fire. And he told us like, yeah, I think the only choice you guys have is like go into Canada to this, I don't know the park anymore. Like the name was like
Manning Park.
Manning Park? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we said, okay, we're going to stay the night on the border, or there was a campsite just like 1 mile or 2 miles into Canada There was like a campsite there, and we stayed there, camped there, and in the morning we went to the Manning Park, had like breakfast, and then we hitched into Vancouver, and yeah, the rest is history. Like coming back with the Greyhound into Seattle.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing pictures. I don't know if you were with them, but freaking tables of lasagna.
Dan and Mach 5, were you there?
Oh yeah,
Were you with
No, we
them?
also had how is it called? It's like fries with like sauce on
Poutine.
it. Poutine, yeah. We had like poutine in the morning.
Oh my gosh, we were kicking ourselves because I
Yeah.
remember when we ran into you. Remember you
Yeah.
said, "Oh, come back down and enjoy it with us for a
Yeah.
little bit."
But
And
you guys left your stuff up
we
there.
left
yeah.
our stuff
Yeah.
up there. I'm like, man, I regret this decision so much.
Yeah.
I wish we had just taken all our stuff down there, partied, and gone into Canada because I didn't even think it could be an option. And my cousin's a border patrol person. And so my cousin was like, man, we could have just picked you up in Canada
Yeah.
and brought you to our house. And I was like, damn it. But I mean, we have a different story than
was
you
good,
guys.
yeah.
But I just love when we heard that a ranger in a helicopter
Yeah, that
from
was like
Canada
really the best part.
like landed and said, come into Canada. I was like, this feels like something from a movie.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and we just knew that was Dan's idea. That sounds like a Dan.
No. I think it was Siren's idea.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like really like, we're not hiking 30 miles back. Come on, guys. It's just 8 miles into Canada.
Well, and the fires had
And the
blown
fires
up
were
too.
blowing
Like,
up really hard.
I
yeah.
mean, the Rangers, we met them
Like,
halfway
I
and they were
think-
like, we're done.
Yeah,
You're
I think
done.
Siren was from our group, like Dan, Mark 5 was there. And I think Siren was the only one who really has a Garmin. Or maybe more had a Garmin. But she was the only one who get like texts every 10 minutes, like a text like fire, 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 fire. And she's like, whoa. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a really
Yeah.
traumatic
Yeah.
thing for us to come up out of the woods and see the
Yeah.
fires had just quadrupled, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh my god, they're done. We're
Yeah.
done. Like no one's getting to the border now. But
Oh yeah, and you could just feel the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't see smoke actually. We were like down on the border. There was like no smoke, nothing.
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
know.
realize that it pops up so fast. So
yeah.
if we
Yeah.
would hike back without garments or something, or without someone was ringing us or texting us, we were like,
It would have been scary.
it would be really dangerous, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a really interesting point to say where we split on the PCT. Because we hiked, I think we met at mile 70, as we said, and then we finally split again at like mile 2,500 or something like that, 2,400.
It was
I think yeah, because I know that you guys, because we took maybe it was a 0 and Cuppa, you decided to get out because you were nervous about the fires.
Well, Jedi was like, I was like, this is so typical, me worrying so much about what's going on trail and all the logistics and stuff. I feel like me and Basecamp, we're so similar to this. She gets her name from... It's
The fact
planning
that I'm
everything,
planning.
for months before the hike.
everybody
you know?
always goes to base camp to plan.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the exact same. I'm constantly thinking and worrying about what's coming next and what's this, that, and what we need to plan and work out. And Jedi's like, he's like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Stoner he just doesn't care what's going on at any point. You know, he's just along for the ride, following behind. Let me do all the work.
And I'm over here just like, I want to hike fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was about a couple of hundred from the border. And I'm saying, okay, we've seen people having to jump ahead. We're fortunate enough, and it is luck, that we've avoided fires the whole way up. Even though we started early, which helped massively, there were still fires everywhere. And we'd had a clean run where we'd made it the whole way. And then I remember thinking, Jedi was like, oh, I really want to go to trail days. It's like 500 miles back from where we are or something.
I went straight 3 days into the trail days, and it was the best blast I ever had.
Whereas I was like freaking out, worrying, saying, no, we're hundreds of miles ahead of the fire again. I'm not wasting this opportunity. There's going to be more fires. And my God, were we right. We were completely right.
So right.
The difference is, though, is whereas Jedi can turn on that switch where he can do 30, 40 miles in a day, I cannot do that. Oh my. At that wall that I hit at around about 30 miles, I think the max I've ever done is about 36, you know, and then I'm just hiking into my sleep because I can't go that far. And we just knew that we had to get there. So he booked it. I think, how many miles did you do that
Yeah,
week?
you booked
after?
it. I
I
remember.
did a whole week with 30 plus miles. Like 35 was like the average I had. And then it was like 35, 37, 36, 35, 35 again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's in Washington.
Yeah, because I remember, because you were like, what, 4 or 5 days behind us
Yeah.
because of trail days. And we were doing 25 to 30s at that point. Or maybe it's just 25s. We were like Anyway, it was in between 25, 30s.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, Jedi, because you ended the same day we did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you had to have been like booking it. But
Absolutely booked it to the end. Absolutely. And I only managed to get one day ahead of everybody eventually. So I didn't end
you
up,
did, because we ran into
we
you.
ran into
like,
you on the way
right,
back. That
yeah.
was such a good reunion. That was so
Yeah.
nice to see you guys right at the end
Yeah,
again.
we saw each other also at the last hostel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lionsdale? Was it the Lionsdale?
Lion's Den.
Lionsdale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so weird because it was like we would all keep up through social media
Yeah.
and we would leapfrog from time to time. But then the last section, I feel like in Washington, all of us didn't see each other. We would just keep up through social media, like, where are you? And then Jedi we ran into at the Lion's Den in Mazama before we
It
finished.
sounds like an adult sex shop, doesn't it?
Sex stuff.
Sex shop.
It really
It
does.
does.
The Lion's Den. And then we ran into Cuppa. So he had just finished the day before so it's like, because you have to walk back 30 miles to get out of the trail, Cuppa was walking back from finishing. We were walking in. And then, so we ran into Cuppa. We ran into Azul. We had ran into Tumbleweed. And then Jedi, we ran into and Dan and Mach 5. Like, it was such a crazy reunion at the very end.
It felt so good as well to be able to see each other and say, guys, get a move on.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you're going to make it. And it was that sudden relief
Yeah.
where we could all see each other and, everything calmed down again. And we
Yeah.
were able to just all fly and just get to the border just in time.
Yeah.
Well, and I told you guys this because you didn't know this, but like we were camped at the ridge and a fire started breaking out again. And I have a picture of it and it was
I
insane.
heard this. It was, and you slack packed I heard this on the last podcast.
in the
I think.
morning.
Yeah.
We like decided to get up and slack pack. I'll have to show you guys, but it
I'd
was
have been so
nuts.
scared my stuff was going to burn.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
Jedi, real quick, what was your lowest moment of the PCT?
I was just thinking about it now.
Okay.
Getting like tears in my eyes. Sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, like I think it was Crater Lake. I lost a friend in Germany. He was like a motorcycler and died. Yeah.
Come here.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Yeah, of
No,
course.
good.
Oh.
He was.
We'll give him a minute. But this is something that it happens when you're on trail, is that the
Yeah.
real world around you, you forget that you're in this, like, it feels like nursery for us. We're all first day of school all the time and making friends constantly. There's a real world going on out there outside of the mountains where people are still driving in vehicles and, and family members are going to be diagnosed with things and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And it becomes so hard. When you hear that information, and quite often, don't forget, we don't have signal for days and days at a time. So we get this information late, and you might turn up at a trailhead or on a pass where you're supposed to be at what for us is one of the nicest spots for doing what we love most. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you look down at your phone and you've got signal and you've got 50 missed calls from your friends and family back at home telling you that a really close friend has passed away or something like this. Thank God it's never happened for me, but you do see it quite often with people. I mean, people's family members. I don't know if you guys are okay to talk about this, but you had a family member as well that something
my
happened for you.
uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you
He-
found that out.
It was 2 days before we finished. He passed away in the middle of heart surgery. It was really hard.
To
yeah.
interpret and acknowledge, in a time when you're celebrating what is
Yeah.
one of the biggest accomplishments you've ever had, and suddenly,
And there's
how
there's
horrible
grief.
and awful is that to suddenly be hit with that as well at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a pretty low moment, Jedi. I'm
Awful.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Because that's it man.
it stays with you for every
Oh.
trail as well.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
We had a friend pass away on this trail as well, who also had a heart attack, and it was again, it's crazy because when you only know another hiker for 2 weeks, something like that, it sounds to somebody who's listening who's not in the hiker world, that's such a long time on trail.
It
You
feels
get
like a
to know-
lifetime.
You get to know people so quickly when you're living and breathing the same air. You're in the same tents, farting next to each other, and this, that, and the other. We weren't with this guy; he had his own tent, but but you really get to know people so quickly. So when
Yeah.
something happens, it's I think in our community we had a friend called Silver. Sadly passed away. It was natural causes, completely natural, but he was a fit and healthy guy, eating avocados every day. And I know people, it's a cliche that people say when somebody passes away, but one of the most carefree, kindest, nicest individuals that you could have met on trail just suddenly passes away amidst the hiking community that we then found, this like family that we've made around us. it's just devastating. Like and I was so surprised how much, because again, we only knew him for 2 weeks, but how much that affected us on trail.
Of course, yeah.
Like, we were upset every day, you know. We were like squeezing water, crying, looking at each other. And we were laughing, saying, "Why are we crying?" You know.
We were sitting in Subway, eating a sub,
crying into our
just
sandwiches.
crying.
Yeah. And that was so sad to see.
Yeah.
And I think that affected a lot of people around us on the trail, and it brought us all closer as well.
Of course, yeah.
But stuff like that hits harder when you're on these trails because you're out there and you're so in tune with each other and your own emotions and how you feel.
You can go to the funeral too. That's like,
yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That's what's so hard is that knowing you can't be there.
The trail, but I want to see.
I think we have a rule, don't we? We're talking about if anything ever happens to us, if we fall off a cliff, which to be honest, if it's going to happen to anybody, it probably would be us. But if that ever happens, we've always said you take one piece of gear from our kit and you make it to Canada with it, or you take it on the hikes that you do in the future or whatever. Yeah, so we have a little we took tiny things that were basically garbage.
So you took some of his stuff and you're taking it with you to Canada?
I took a broken clip, and because I think we wanted to be respectful, his family said that they want his pack and everything, you know. So we just took literally bits. We took bits of garbage.
It would be cool to have like the tag, because the tag has tomatoes. Like,
well, we were with a hiker called Jolly, who's
Jolly Gear.
Yeah, he was really close to silver. They were really, really close. I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this, but they were really, really close. And we really thought. I think they started the same day as well. They were one number apart from each other.
He was starting with me.
Jolly Silver. Oh right, okay.
Me, yeah.
I think there's something about the tags or something though. There were numbers that they were laughing about together, and I really think Jolly should have got I hope he did, but we don't know. Taken the tag, and he's going to get that to Canada hopefully. Because I think it's just a really good way to commemorate somebody who is part of the community, and you know.
Absolutely.
And again, it's crazy that you don't know these people for long, but the way that it affects you, it's just a reminder that you take every day as it comes. You enjoy every day. Stop having a tantrum over having to squeeze water and things like this, you know? I think that is one thing we are very good at, is just making the most of a shitty situation and laughing about it when things get really tough. And where loads of people get really bothered by, I don't know, there's a thunderstorm coming or whatever, you know? He's always up to some dumb shit that we can laugh about, you know?
That is very true. You guys do laugh through a lot. But no, I appreciate you sharing your authentic emotions with us. Thank you, because I know how that feels too. And not in the same way, because it wasn't my close friend, but it is it's such a painful feeling. And I think that grief and joy that's something I learned when my dad passed away, is like, I can live in pain and joy at the same time. And like, because I met Wesley when Dad passed away. This is just the weirdest juxtaposition, like the irony of getting to experience such deep levels of pain and also experiencing such deep levels of joy and excitement and beauty. And it's weird when the body, it's like, I feel like death actually takes you to a different place inside of your body, because you hold more emotions. I feel like you have to learn to navigate how to experience more emotions for yourself and hold them all together, and that there's nothing wrong with any of them. Like every single emotion is good and beautiful and whole, and that
helps you grow massively as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you said, like Cuppa, you said it, death really takes you to this place of like, we all don't know when we're gonna die. And like when my dad died, I was like, why don't I just live my life? Like, who cares what
what they want you to do as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
They want you to make the most of every
live
single
your life
day.
Yeah, be free. And it's like, why not do then what we actually want to do? What's holding us back from doing what we love? And what's holding anyone back from doing what they love? Because one day we are all going to pass and we're going to die. And it's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I should just live my life.
Yeah,
for sure. And whenever your family member passed, we were so close to finishing, they actually kind of postponed the ceremony because
that's so sweet.
Your family member, they thought that he would have wanted us to finish it first.
Oh, how lovely is that?
Yeah. I know my aunt said he wouldn't have wanted you to stop what you love to come here and be with us. Like he'd want you to finish this trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, asking the same question, then I love all the rabbit trails we've gone on. We'll probably have to skip some of these questions, but
We've had
Cuppa,
all the emotions in this
Yeah,
podcast.
this
It's
is
a long way.
great, man. I love it.
I mean, I'm choking up over
I
here.
know. What?
Sorry if I cheered like that.
Oh my God! No, do not apologize,
How
Jedi.
dare you? How dare you?
Gosh, I know the audacity of being honest. Anyway, okay, Loba's losing her mind now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and outro this out. Thanks everyone for listening. We really do appreciate it. We love it. It's so great. We're so thankful that Cuppa and Jedi could join us for this wonderfully long episode. Really,
Thank
it'll
you.
be a two-parter. And thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it.
A little shout out to the Fire Once Lost for our intro and our outro music. They've got a few new songs out now, so go check out their Spotify channel. You can find the link to that in our show notes. And
if you want to leave us a message, if you want to hear Cuppa and Jedi again on a podcast, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions for them as they're hiking the trail. So you can email us at yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at our @ginger_the_joy, which we are trying to push everybody into Yeti Walks Into Basecamp. So if you have not yet joined that Instagram page, please join that. We're trying to push everyone over there so that we can release our content, our information, any questions we may have.
definitely.
And if you do want to join our Patreon or our subscriber episodes, I know that our subscriber episodes, we have not done a ton of them, but I will say, but for Patreon right now, we are releasing a ton of photos and videos of all of our hikes and our stories that you can see and hear at the same time.
It's true. And even if we're not releasing a whole lot of subscriber episodes at this time, any subscription really helps us out. It helps fund and support the podcast so that we can continue to make more episodes and improve the quality of these episodes, because I'm super anal about that.
He is very anal. If you guys want to join us in our last tagline, as we like to say in the hiking community.
And as we'll say to you as you're walking away from our car back onto the CDT,
Happy
trails.